podcast.
Lavish T.
We got a special guest today, man. This is one of the legends, solo artist, group artist. This is a dude that I listened to. My older brother had me listen to him since I was a little kid, man. Pioneer. Official tissue guy. I actually met him in person. Had a chance to really meet him. Cool dude. I want to introduce y'all to Grand Puba. Ladies and gentlemen, clap up for Grand Puba.
What's good? Everything good.
I'm glad you came.
Bless.
You know, real niggas is back.
Hey man, I ain't never went nowhere. You know
That's what's up. So I want to get into it before we get into how you started. You know, because this new generation might not know who you are, or they might know who you are, or might not know who you are. But for the ones who's uninformed and misinformed, you know, we're gonna let them know what it is. But I just want to ask you a quick question, real quick. How do you feel about academics being out of pocket?
That's a hot topic now, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, like anything, when you don't know your history and it's just something reckless. You know, of course, when you don't respect history, then you know what I mean. What do you expect? Like if you don't know your history, you know, and I don't know. I don't really, you know,
You feel like it's gonna is it gonna tarnish his credibility as a quote unquote journalist?
I mean, it was a bad look, but at the same time, he a young dude, and I remember being young, you know what I mean, like, not being disrespectful. I always respect my OGs or whatever, you know, that's how you learn. But I think nowadays the process of learning that's removed from the game, like, you know what I mean, and that's why shit is so much out of control, because we don't have, like, they give the young adolescents the bag, and they don't really know anything. Like,
I'm gonna get to that word, the bag. I feel like this is what people respect today.
Yeah, but respect is respect. Like I'm like, you know, it's a different era now, you know, and like the devil's constantly working. So, you know, like growing up, like especially me as a youngin, I had certain things there to guide me and put me in the right direction. And the first thing was, you always respect your elders. You know what I mean? Because if you didn't, you get the shit smacked. It's a different time. Like, you know what I mean?
Feel like I feel like with every problem that hits the surface is always a core root to the problem. Do you feel as though what he said is a reflection of the OG's fault for not teaching them, putting them in? You know, I feel like a lot of kids today, they act this way because I feel like the OGs abandoned them.
It's not. It's one thing to abandon. It's another thing to be suppressed and not be heard. You gotta distinguish the two.
They feel like, I'm keeping 100 with you. I feel like they be feeling like the old cats be hating on the young cats. Yo, fuck the old niggas. Yo, fuck the young niggas. Like, I feel like this stigmatism, like, with, yo, fuck the OGs, fuck the young. I feel like we need to stop that, because I think that's what's going to make hip hop get back to what it used to be. Because I feel like the OGs is like, y'all already got y'all bread, y'all got kids and families, y'all got shit going on. Y'all like, man, fuck these little niggas, man.
That's not even it at all.
So
what happens is, of course, you know, they make hip hop a young game. So once you get to a certain level, because we know and understand, the older you get, the wiser you get, the more experience you have in life. And that's how the wisdom is passed down through the elders, like, you know what I mean? So you chop off the elders, you just got a bunch of
young Thundercats
just running around, like no guidance and shit, and that's done deliberately. Because if you take it from, let's go to, the beginning of rap. I was just shorty. I learned from the firstborns, like the original, you know what I mean? And by the time I got into the game, I was well seasoned. But, you know, I learned it was a progression.
Definitely gonna get into that.
So by the time I got in the game, I was already well,
so since we on the
school.
topic,
You know what I'm saying?
How did you get introduced to hip hop?
Oh wow, in my neighborhood in Nauru, brother named from Edenwall.
Edenwall Projects?
Yeah, DST.
Okay.
DXT is his name now. That was my first experience. One of my first. No, I take that
back. So
Edenwall
Projects, that's in the Bronx.
In the BX.
So you from the Bronx?
No. I'm from New Road. But he was the guy from the Bronx who brought it to New Rochelle.
Okay.
I was born in New Rochelle, but at the time I was living in the Bronx on 220th.
So you best of
My mother went into labor while we were in New Rochelle at my grandmother's house. So I was born in New Rochelle, but I was living in the Bronx. Then eventually we moved to New Rochelle.
So by default,
No, it's right next to each other. Like,
yeah,
it's like,
so you pretty much...
From where I was in the Bronx to New Rochelle, it was a 5-minute drive.
So you're pretty much a Bronx cat, keeping it real.
I'm like my pops, man. I'm a nomad. I go wherever. I'm a Viking. You know what I mean?
What's your ethnicity?
I'm an original man.
Black American?
Yeah, original man.
That's what's
my
up.
mother's from. My mother's father's from the Virgin Islands, West Indian, but I'm black. I grew up in Harley houses.
How did you discover hip hop and you was like, yo, this is what I want to be. This is what I want my career to be like. This is who I'm gonna become. Who's the first person you ever seen perform? Because I do music myself. I'm an R&B singer, so I started doing music ever since I seen Craig David.
Okay.
Craig David, Michael Jackson, shit like that.
Okay.
Cats.
Okay.
You know, I might look young. I'm a young old nigga a little bit. So,
okay.
I'm 34 years old. So, me growing up, R&B was what it was. I was a little young, freaky little nigga, getting jiggy with the girls, listening to R&B and shit like that. So, I know what made me want to become a singer.
Yeah.
What made you become one?
Well, when I was a kid, rap didn't even exist. So I was R&B shit too. I wasn't a singer, but it didn't. I watched it come into play. So seeing that was something I wanted to do. When I heard it before I seen it. Basically, a friend of mine used to live in Soundview. He used to get
Soundview Projects in the Bronx, right?
Yeah. Okay. He used to get cassette tapes from Tape Master with all the Cold Crush, Breakout, whatever, and that's how I first got introduced to it. Then DXT actually came around and started doing parties, and I started b-boying, was a b-boy, all of that, you know what I mean? Used to break dance with Rock City Crew, Big Sundance, Charlie Rock, I was their little understudy,
Okay.
So that's...
So you learned your history before you got into it.
Yeah, basically.
So that's pretty.
I loved it before I got into it.
There
was no option. That's what I was going to do. So that's how I started.
So what was one of the biggest challenges for you at that time? Because there was no social media how it is right now. How you just connecting?
You had to be there. You had to. It was like I said. There was no records. It was no radio. It wasn't like you said. It wasn't the internet. It wasn't none of that. You had to actually literally go to these sets, the functions where the parties was, watch, listen. I had my partner who I used to rhyme with back then, Shorty. His brother, older brother, was a Black Spade, and he was from Gun Hill Projects, and used to take us to the T Connection to see, as kids, let us run around, do whatever, He was, in fact, he would have been probably one of my co-parts on the rap game too if he wouldn't have got killed. The guy tried to stick up a chicken joint, police shot him in the head and shit.
Sorry.
That was my dude right there. But his older brother used to let us run around and shit, But that's basically it. I've seen it from the beginning, something I wanted to do.
So who put you on? Because I'm pretty sure it ain't like now all you need is money and the internet. Everything today's pay. Was payola invented back then?
That's probably around the beginning of time.
But is it how it is today though?
I don't know. I really can't. Well, put it like this: the way I got into the rap game, this kid from my projects was a boxer. and he had his manager's trainer wanted to start a record label. Now by this time in New Row and Nauru, I'm that dude. Like I'm known, spreading through all Westchester, the Bronx. I got a name for myself before I even.
Right.
I was known before I even got in the game. Like I was, you know what I mean. So when I got in the game, it was just a continuation of just being that dude. So it wasn't. That's what made it even easier to succeed in the game once I got in, because I was already. I was I already had. You know what I mean. So he the guy asked him like, yo, I want to start a record label. Know anybody that rap? And my man was like, yo, it's this dude over the project, nicest dude out. And that's how I got started. And I had my cousin with me, and we formed a group called Masters of Ceremony. And that's how we started. And from there, you know.
Do you remember your first rap you ever created?
Some of it. I was going downtown doing my dude, was on 149th and 3rd Avenue. Seeing the girl, she was looking super fly. No doubt about it, I caught her eye. Like, I don't care, you know. One of them old, you know what I mean?
You know what's crazy? Like, you know what's so ill though, right? You see how you remember his first rap? His rap, he's talking about a girl. Right. These dudes today, they talking about killing each other. Like, what's wrong? Like,
it's a program. It's a program. It's what you've been fed and seen, and you got to understand. Like,
you're not disappointed though?
Of course, but it's not. This is the problem right here that I have. Like, they only know what they see and what they were taught. Now, if you're gonna be mad, you gotta be mad at the people who's creating that construct and they're being poisoned right now.
I'm keeping it 100 with you. A lot of these young cats, they got older dudes around them telling them to do certain things because them older cats is benefiting off of it. That's partial, but that's not really. I mean, you gotta. It's a little deeper than that, because you gotta go into the mind in which how, like, the Fortnite, what's the shit,
Call of Duty,
the Call of Duty, the nigga be getting out, jumping out the car, hitting niggas in the head. What's this shit? Grand Theft Auto. Then you got shit on YouTube where it's just all violent. Like, this is all they seeing. Like, they're not seeing, like, when we came up, we had different avenues to go down. You know, was still there. Crime was still there. Selling drugs was still there. Murder was still there. But it was, you had other options. Like, kids.
I feel like back in the days, R&B kind of like tamed people.
Well, now you got hip hop too. You got had groups like Public Enemy.
Oh, absolutely.
Brand New Licensed Teachers. You had, whatever the narrative is, that's what we're gonna follow. They say life don't imitate art, but it's both. It does both. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because we learn how to dress, and a lot of people across the world learn how to dress from listening to rap music.
That's a fact.
And the same thing goes for the violence and all that shit. It's no balance though. Now it's no balance. Like, it's almost like it's done by design. Like, and I don't, you can't blame them.
It's definitely manufactured purposely.
Yeah, but they only know what they see. Like we seen different. We seen Farrakhan. We seen Malcolm X. We knew our history.
That's a fact.
They coming into the world. All they seeing is ops this, ops that,
right.
Murder this. So how you think they're gonna act? Get to the bag, yo. Look, girls. Did you see them women out here?
Yo, you gonna laugh. Yeah. Like, I learned what the word thought was like 3 years ago. I didn't even know what the hell a thought was. Thought stands for. It was like, oh, you got a hole over there. I'm like, word? Right. I'm like, damn, like, it's crazy. Like,
back in the days, there was things that you could do, like actually go to the physical record store, or like I would remember, like if you was trying to get signed, that there would actually be a physical like record label right there, So these days everything is all digital. So
it's all, but that's once again that's the devil at work doing. You even go back to the microwave. Like it used to be records, then it was cassette record, it was 8-tracks, this shit now is digital. They always try to, I don't know, quick fix, like nothing means anything, nothing is sacred. Like, we're out of our culture right now. You know what I'm saying? They know how to take what we create and turn it in against us, and that shit becomes a weapon.
And we don't benefit in the end.
Did the word 360 ever exist when you came to the game?
The 360, it's a cipher. It's a circle. I mean,
the 360 deal, like the record deal.
Oh, the record deal, nah.
They didn't have that way. You was taking out merch.
When we was in the game, well, you had artist development. You had different type of shit to cultivate an artist and.
When you came to the game, you had vinyls and shit like that. You didn't have vinyls. You had vinyls.
You had vinyls.
So in your contract, right? There was no such thing as digital rights. I'm pretty sure your music is on all the DSPs. Like your music is on DSPs. Mm-hmm. Can labels keep that money? Because they didn't have that in contract. So are you guys entitled to get that money?
Of course.
Because I heard Noriega was like he had to like go back and figure out. Because it was this older rapper who had he had sued the label because they had made millions of dollars off the DSPs and all that stuff. Right. And he went back because in his when he had got signed, there was no fucking flat screens. There ain't had no TVs back then, so it was like how it worked. Like so,
everything is like word of mouth, like with the information.
So did you have to renegotiate your deal when DSPs came out?
Nah, what we did after what was it, like 30 years or something like that, it reversed back to you.
I thought you get your publishing back after 8 years of the record coming
your
out.
Publishing, you can that's automatic. Unless you do a publishing deal, you own your publishing.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel that today's hip hop ruined the world? The world for music.
I think the devil ruined the world.
Yeah, we know the devil ruined. I'm talking
but you gotta listen. You can't say once it's being controlled. Like I said, once it's being controlled, it's not in your hands. You can't blame it. Like you blame those who are responsible. You can't say like hip hop. It's I don't know. Hip hop united mad cultures together.
Today's hip hop.
But today's hip hop is, like I said, everything evolves and changes, man. Today's hip hop is youngins that don't really know their culture and don't know, like the fact that hip hop was created for peace.
That's a fact.
You understand that? It was created from the gangs to stop the violence amongst each other. Mm-hmm. Now it seems the devil took it, flipped it, and used it and turned it against us, and now it's to kill each other. It's all about ops. Like.
That's a fact.
So it should be about opportunities.
So who you listening to today? Like what artists today that you like? Yo,
I'm old school here. I don't even listen. I be R&B I grew up on R&B as a kid. But I listen to certain joints. I listen to old school. I listen to new joints. I like Future's joint with Drake. I like it's just songs. If a song catch me, it catch me. Like I don't.
So you're not like dedicated to one artist. You dedicated to songs.
Like Lil Baby might make some shit that's fire. I don't. All that niggas whack. Somebody might have a hot song, and that's how I've always been. Like that's not.
Yo, I feel like back in the days.
Dope song.
I feel like back in the days. Like a hip hop artist to have a hit record, the formula was you needed an R&B singer.
No, sorry.
Nah. At least when Diddy came onto the surface, because we're gonna get to Diddy for a little and a few. Like I feel like when Diddy came in the game, like he shift the whole like street rap to like radio records. Like he created radio records, so commercial success records.
Well. Public Enemy had commercial success. Right?
Yeah, but I'm
KRS, like it's not. It was a different lane. Like he added, the singing and whatever like that. But it's still hip hop. You got the hardest group, Locks. Mm-hmm. Mace was one of my favorites and shit. Just flow and all that. It was just a different lane. Like,
so like
the fusion of the two.
The thing that I do like before we interview artists and stuff like that. Sometimes I go back, I listen to like songs that I already know. I just go back and listen to records, and I Google certain things, and I was like listening to records, and I kind of like I'm listening to records and all that stuff, and I'm listening to like Mary J. Blige records, and I kind of noticed like a little bit of a similarity in like her songs and your songs. Like when those records was coming out, did you feel that those records was being inspired from by you?
Well, hip hop is like a wave, man, and some people just follow the wave. Like once the R&B and hip hop came, everybody started doing Brownstone, this one, that one. They used one of our tracks too. That was a big record. Drop the Bomb.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was one of our joints. So I mean, it's what do we call it? Like trendy, like certain trends that just come out, and that's almost like with fashion too. A fashion trend come, everybody rocks out. Like, you know what I mean? I did, when I did the 411 with Mary, that was like the last song on her album and shit. And he called me like me and Puff. I knew him way before this and all of that. So you know what I mean? Doing that wasn't nothing. That was the last song on her album, and that ended up being the title of her album. You know what I mean? So because that swinging and that swag and that, what's the 411? That was some fly shit, like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that shit, like, and of course, like, even when she did the My Life, we used that for Wake Up. Brand Nubian. My life. And she bodied that shit. I love that fucking record. Like, she took it to another level. That's one of my
still hear it today.
I mean, with Mary, she's fucking, where she's at is where she's supposed to be. Like, you know what I mean? She's just fucking talented.
Yeah, she's on power.
I could throw a beat on and she's...
Yeah, how was it working with her in the studio?
It was light work. Like, yo, here's the beat, like boom, 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 bow, you know.
She just
like, I got joints with her that didn't even come out yet. Like, I got her singing Donny Hathaway shit on some whole other track that she bought, like, better than 401 and check it out, the next level shit that never came out.
You ever think about putting them out?
We're gonna, visit that, you know what I'm saying?
Put them out and just put all your joints on and call it the Lost Tape and just put that shit out. Like,
no, we got some things we're working on this anniversary. Real.
That's a fact.
30 years.
So speak about the real.
Back in the days, they used to have like the lost tapes and all of that. So that would be good to have something for hip hop like that.
Talk about 30-year anniversary, real, man. How you feel?
Yeah, well, it's here like October like that. It's like this is important to me for the simple fact when that album did come out, that's when I did the 411. That was the same year. It's 30 years for that. And also 30 years of me putting Tommy Hilfiger on the map. That's all happened in that year. But the real, like, so that's why I'm, gonna do something special for that, because like I said, like Tommy, that was, nobody heard of that cat until, you know what I mean?
Nah, I'll be honest, the first time I seen like cats wearing Tommy Hilfiger and all that.
Yeah.
It was after. Nobody.
It was the flyest joint out at that time.
It was you, like, I'm gonna be honest with you.
And I'm gonna keep it real with everybody. The reason, I'm gonna get a little history, like growing up in the Jets, you already know you always try to be fly. I don't care if it's the pro kids, you want the color nobody got. You always wanted to be that dude that stand out. And that's how Tommy came into play. Like, I got a sweatshirt from somebody, and it was like, she was kind of fly. And I was like, yo, I ain't never heard of this. Nobody never heard of that. So I went and did my search for him, went into Macy's, and all he had was like button-ups, a striped colored button-up, and on my Real album cover, that's the first Tommy Hilfiger that I brought on that album cover.
Put Tommy Hilfiger on the map. Everybody wanted to dress like you back in those days.
I ain't never seen Tommy Hilfiger till I seen him when I was young. I'm like, I'm older, but like I told you, I got an older brother, so I'm seeing like brother coming in the crib with certain clothes on. I'm like, what the hell is that? I'm like,
but that's how you always wanted it, and that was the intentions of getting that, and that's what me saying that Hilfiger Top Gear, like I knew nobody knew what that was, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it caught an interest in the look, and set up it's a layup, like easy shit, like, you know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean?
You
like
ever get sponsored by it?
Yeah, we got a long history.
That's what's up.
We got a long history and shit.
That's dope.
But like everybody else, You know, because Low always been around. You know, Adidas, Nikes, you heard them, but Hilfiger, you never heard of that.
Would you say Tommy Hilfiger emulated like or embodied like a hustler or a go-getter or a pretty boy back in those days?
Nah, it was more like a J. Crew type thing, first of all, I ain't seen, like, I had the first Tommy Hill backpack because my, what's your name, designed, he had duffel bags, he didn't even have knapsacks and shit. And for that 360 video, they custom made me a backpack.
Oh,
like,
word?
Yeah, indeed. So I'm responsible for a lot of stuff, but I think it was more that surf type, you know, preppy wear. You know what I mean? That was more what he was reaching for, you know. And this caught a wind on it, you know. The urban community just blew him up to a level where, you know, but where I always tell him the way he could have stayed on that level is he just got too loud with it. Like, it's like, say, you know, big names and letters.
So would you say Tommy Hilfiger exploded just like how Steve Madden did back in the days?
I don't know who blew him up.
Right? Like the Wolf of Wall Street. That's a dude that like really.
No, but I'm saying like
blew
Tommy
him up.
Was successful because of me. Like basically
that.
Somebody, he got a.
That's a fact.
That's a jewel. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't, you know, where he would have been if I hadn't mentioned him and.
Right. But Jordan Belfort did the same thing for he did the same thing for Steve Madden. So I mean, like, as a rapper, right? Like, you gotta invest like for the future, you know. So I feel like that's what like Akademiks is getting at, saying like, you know, rappers from way back, you know, are like they don't have the same financial juice no more. Times change. Yeah, that's true too. But even the rappers today would probably be, you know, having less money in the future.
Because I seen him get disrespectful with young niggas too. Like, it's not like, you know what I mean?
Right.
But that still was a form of disrespect.
I think he just say shit that what he thinks is gonna make a headline. That's my opinion.
Yeah, so that's like probably like a headline or something.
So let me ask you a question, because a lot of times like your joint is kind of a little backwards, because a lot of artists usually they get in the game as a group and then they venture off as a solo artist. You came in the game as a solo artist and then you got into a group.
I came in as a group. My first group was Master Ceremony, and then
but what took off?
Brand Nubian,
Which one took off? Like
all of them took off, like to had this level and degree of success. Like Master Ceremony was popular on the East Coast, like, and in Cali and West Coast too. But that was just one album and one, you know. But I had big records on with that group, and then we formed Brand Nubian, and of course, you know, the rest is history on that.
So how did that come about? Like, how did Brand Nubian come about? Like you, me, and Lord Jamal, Sadat X, and stuff like that.
Yeah, we met eventually. Well, Jamal was always rocking with me with Master Ceremony. Okay. He used to come on shows with me and all that. You know, it was a beast. So he was always there. You know what I mean? And he was a solo artist, and he was doing his own thing. It was, you know, basically just giving him the game and shit as far as how to produce and record and all that shit. And he was doing his own project. So we was always locked in, you know, from way before we formed the group and shit.
Yeah, how do you stay humble like this? Like you being this pioneer in rap, like you having this success in music and being like this you that dude. Like how you stay this humble? Like I met you through Jay, and like you wasn't cocky at all. Like you was like on some laid back cool shit. Like how you stay like? Cause I met a lot of dudes. Like I met a lot of artists, and yo, niggas be super cocky.
Different vibes.
Crazy. Like he's like, yo, I don't even want to meet this nigga anymore. Like he's like, slap fire out this cat.
But everybody's different. Cool. Like you got everybody's different. Like, I've been doing this shit so long, man. Like I said, 13. I've been, you know what I mean? It's like, it's music. It's an art form. You love it. I mean, what's really to be cocky about? I mean, the fame and all that shit is what it is.
I don't even like.
That's not really. I know what you mean, but
you don't realize how famous you are, like. Cause I seen you one time. You didn't even notice. Yo, I seen him walking with my band.
Okay.
At the festival joint.
Right.
He's walking by himself. I'm like, yo, homeboy, he's walking by himself. No security. I'm like, yo.
No, you know, I'm not like, from that era. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
valid.
Grown ass man. I got kids.
I know, but you don't realize like how that you famous.
Of course.
So you like when you outside, you the same. I be telling Jay, I be like, yo, son, like, you not a regular cat. Like this nigga Jay be trying to. I understand y'all niggas are street cats. Yo, we on the block. Me and Jay, we on the block drinking. I'm looking at this nigga Jay like every 5 minutes a nigga walking by. Yo, peace, God. Yo, can I take a picture with you? I'm looking at him like
that shit
ain't annoying.
Nah, it's a part of the game. You know what I mean? You might wake up some days and might not want to be bothered, but then you know how to move when you don't feel like being bothered. You know, it's once the love stops, that's when you gotta worry. Like, you know what I'm saying? It feels good, like, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, especially the work that we do, you know, and our duty is civilized people. You know, we got a duty to perform, so it doesn't bother us at all. You know what I mean? Like we're grounded. Like, you know what I mean? Our foundation is sturdy. Like, you know what I mean? And they know what we represent. You know, so it's a little different. Like, you know, we trying to uplift.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
What was tour like?
What was what? Tour? You know, regular shit. It was fun. You know. To the point, all the way up until it became business. Me, I'm a business, like I said, I've been doing this so long, like, it's like, okay, we're gonna do this show, we're gonna whatever, handle our business, we're gonna keep it moving. Of course, it's beautiful women, it's all that and everything, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, when your mind is focused on what you gotta do once I get off the road, like, you just, after a while, it's a business that you love to do. Right.
You have any advice for the youth? Any young rappers that's coming up right now?
See, the game is so different now. I always say study your history. Love yourself, love your people, understand who you are, and understand the moves that you make, and get advice. Like, you know, just don't jump into things. Like, I'm so happy that these young kids is getting that paper, getting that bag, but at the same time, it's disappointing because they losing their life, they going to jail, they getting murdered. That shit hurt. Like, when you come into this game, this industry, it's to be successful and make your life better and go on and add on to your life. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But now it just seems like it's just taking that comes with the game now. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, that's like, since we're on that topic, like, how do you feel about like what happened to P&B Rock? Like,
once again, all of that, everybody, it's so many. You know what I mean? We can say what happened to da. It's just like us as a people, like, they got us twisted. They got us just killing each other. It ain't crack no more. It ain't heroin. It ain't dope. It's straight just murder now. Like, we becoming fucking.
It's survival. They killing for money.
So
it's not, but it's like.
I mean, it's a system.
How do we change
a life? I mean, it's
the environments that we live in.
It's by design, because if you see that in every day constantly, I study little kids watching certain shit and taking on that attitude, talking about pops, they're only 6 years old. Well, you know about, you know what I mean? So it's what you're being programmed to do. We have to change the narrative. Now, how we go about that? We always know what the solution is, but getting to that solution is a problem because you have the gatekeepers who, they know who to let through and who to, you know what I mean? I can sit here and build with the seeds and tell them, like, you know, all day. But how many views is going, you know what I mean? How many
you know how to get an algorithm.
How many, you know
algorithm
what I mean?
is fixed. It's definitely fixed.
You know what I mean?
You talk about that positive shit on how to save lives, there's no views. You come up here and talk about black women as bitches and hoes and trying to kill them, it's going to get all the views.
None of that common sense.
This shit is crazy.
Yeah,
like
black
the former, they looking at y'all. What the fuck is going on? Like, yeah.
Crazy.
What are you doing? You're already beautiful. You have a beautiful body. I heard one chick say, "Yo, I already had a fat ass," and she went and got. She don't even know why she did that. Like,
what do you think about that? Girls getting their ass done.
Yo, we lost. They got us like twisted.
Because back in your days, the women used to be like straight beautiful. Like nothing needs to happen.
Now they beautiful, but they, I don't know, they
natural
they beauty.
Like,
you know what I'm saying, before they
like little makeup.
That, the natural beauty.
You think that shit
not happy with
you think that shit would have worked back then?
Listen, let me explain something to you. To a certain degree, like back then they had them long ass eyelashes and the wigs and shit. They wasn't chopping up their bodies, but I think it was because they couldn't afford it. I mean, when you
or the technology wasn't there yet.
Because I mean, there were more. Black was beautiful though. We had respect for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So there was to an extent, but the way that shit is now, like,
shit is ridiculous.
It's almost like this is what you're supposed to look like. They don't understand their own beauty. Like they're being told what beauty is, and they're going through extreme measures to deform their bodies and look crazy, like, and everything. Like when you see pictures, there's always ass shots, and it's just crazy, man. I remember seeing the show, The Twilight Zone, one time, and it was about a lady on a stretcher, and she was having surgery, and they don't show nobody. They just no, they didn't show nothing. They just show her on the operating table. They take the bandages off. You don't see her face. And the doctors are like, we're going to try again. They kept trying to, and she was like, I just want to be like everybody else. I just want to be normal, right?
Right.
And they did another operation. They did the final one, right? Mm-hmm. And this is when they show where they wrap it off, take it off, and her face is normal. But everybody else they look like monsters.
Yeah, oh shit!
But her face was regular.
See, you featured with a lot of artists, collab with a lot of people.
Yeah.
What was that like? Being in the studio with Big? Were you in the studio with Big?
Nah, we did. I don't even. That was Heavy D's record. I think Tupac laid his first.
You ever met Tupac?
That's a whole nother. That's a whole nother.
No?
That's family, like that's family. Yeah. On some other shit though. We'll be here all night. It's a whole nother chapter.
Quick.
I'm just saying. Like,
what was he like?
Good dude, man. Very.
Was he this thug life person in real life?
Yeah. I'll give you one. I'm gonna give you one Tupac story. We were. I had to go do Arsenio Hall, and I think they went come up. I got to LAX, I got to Cali, and Pac was at the airport. And he was like, yeah, they told me he was coming, you know, but I got you while you were out here. And I'm like, who told you? My uncle spoke to his mom's, evidently, or something to that effect. And they're like, yeah, all right, cool. So now we going to get in the whip. And Pac is like, yo, check this out. If you're riding in my car and police pull us over, I'm not getting on the ground. So if you plan on getting on the ground and police pulling us over, you need to ride in another car. And I was like, okay. My only felony was assault on a police officer, not nigga teeth out, shit like that. So I ain't give a fuck at that. Whatever, nigga. I ain't getting on the ground either, nigga. You know, that's just one little, but we go, like I said, it's a lot of shit.
So you never been in the studio with him?
I'm the one who told Pac to stop doubling his voice. We used to talk, and he said he didn't like his voice. And I was like, nigga, your shit is crazy. He's like, nah, I don't like that sound. I was like, stop doubling it, because like in his early records, it was hard to figure out what he was saying and shit.
He felt like it made it stronger.
So I was like, yeah,
leave
that one go. So I told him stop doubling this shit. Like I got stories for days with Pac, man.
So you never been in the studio with Big?
With Big, no. That song was, I did Pop, Hev did his verse, Pop did his verse, I did my verse, and then Big came, like, did it after.
You ever met him in person though?
Who?
Biggie.
Bro, of course. That's my guy. Every time you should see me, you should be like, Puba's everything. Everything is Puba. That's my guy, man. Real good dude, man.
You ever met Jay-Z?
Yeah.
Wait. I just want to say that was a gem just to hear that melody right there, because it just felt like I just heard Big just coming straight from his voice just now. So we gotta just embrace that for a moment, like that was a gem right there.
So you say you've been to LA. Was LA as dangerous?
Oh man, rappers on the.
Like if
I used to go to LA, handle my business, keep it moving. I had people in LA, so I knew the ropes. And,
you got advice for East Coast people going to LA?
Say again?
You got advice for East Coast people going to LA?
It's different now. I don't listen. You have to ask my son. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm a grown man. Like, I don't do the same things that the young heads do, so I can't tell them what avenue. I can tell them be careful, as you haven't see that. But that's anywhere you go. You know what I'm saying? You
always gotta be on point.
Yourself, man.
So this word check-in, did that shit exist when you was coming up?
Check-in? Yeah. Nah, but you got homies and you got people that you go see. Like, if you want to call it that, you just yo, I'm in LA, nigga, what's good? Just like if my people come to New York, they hit me up.
Because they got the weed and you checking in because that was your boys.
You want to see
them.
You see,
it's extortion.
I think we play with semantics. Like a lot of people play with semantics with the word check-in.
My man, let me tell you, my first homie from Cali, I was supposed to do a show in Canada. I was in LA. I missed the flight. Now, the next flight wasn't until the morning. So I'm at LAX stuck. This nigga walk up on me, hey, what's happening, man? I'm like, I'm chilling, bro. I'm like, yo, boom, 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 I missed my flight. Then they go, well, oh yeah, the next one ain't too such and such and such. Yo, I'm about to take my break right now, nigga. Now I ain't know this nigga from nowhere, My name is such and such and such, big dog ass, whatever, He's like, nah, hey, I'm about to get up. You want to go get a 40 or something? Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? This is how we met. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, in LA. He was on his break. He worked for the airlines and shit. Nigga had the little El Camino shit. Mm-hmm. Went to the store like, nigga, ain't nobody gonna rob you or that, nigga. You good. You know what I mean? Like, when he got a 40, we kicked it, chilled, and that's my man to this day. For like 30 fucking years now. You know what I'm saying?
Great.
Wait, Big Dog?
Yeah. Oh, that's how we met. Yeah. Hey, nigga. That's how the fuck people. That's how you met Big Dog. Nigga, let's go get a 40. I ain't even know that. That's crazy. You ain't no way around, nigga. You good, nigga. I'm like, fuck it, let's go.
Yo, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
that's fucking weird.
That's how it goes sometimes.
That's weird.
That's drunk some 40s and
shit. So you got any like new stuff you working on today?
Well, we got my son and them is out here doing their thing right now. Sonny Dixon, he's doing this shit right now. Like he did an album with Static Selector. He bubbling right now. He got some shit coming.
Yeah. So you doing any like? You have a ghostwrite for anybody?
Did I ever ghostwrite? Yeah, I have a ghostwrite for people.
Are you close to?
Got a pretty famous one too.
A word?
Yeah.
Who you ghostwrote for?
Oh, P-Rock?
P-Rock?
Yeah.
The creator.
You ghost wrote for him?
Yeah, all
the creator. The song, the creator.
Yeah, you word?
Yeah, I wrote them.
Damn. Well, that's crazy.
That was my guy shit.
MC Light?
Light, yeah, I produced 2 joints on her shit. A remix, I Am the Light, and funky song.
I am the light, the light, the light. Come on.
Yeah.
So Jay's the JB. He be on his Denzel Washington.
Nigga, that's
you not on you didn't
thought about that's acting? Lord J. Yeah.
You ever thought about acting?
2 different things. Nah. I don't even like doing videos and shit, man.
Why?
That should be too long. That's not for everybody. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like photo shoots. I don't like videos. So, you know, that actor they tell me is longer than that.
I can't believe that the Flyers dude back in the day saying that he don't like being on like photo shoots and videos. Nah.
Because here's the thing, like this is what's scary. Like,
you know, Manny Fresh kind of looked like he got your swag too, right?
Who?
Manny Fresh. Like I kind of see when I see your photos from back in the day, and I'm like, hold on, I kind of look like Manny Fresh in the type of way, you know what I'm saying?
Brother from another mother. That's all. Yeah, shit. So
Hey,
like that.
The most famous question to me: what do you like better, creating a record or performing a record?
I like both, but creating is the best now. You know, it's like when you have a baby, something's born. You know?
Like no homo. It's like busting a nut. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you.
It's like a baby being born.
So,
right?
you know, we had a great time with you, bro. Like,
yeah, we chilling. We come back, man.
Definitely.
We definitely gotta have another part because there's so much shit we gotta talk about. You know, so much other shit. I wanna hear about new shit you got coming up. You know, if you got any artists that you managing, or if you working with artists to get them signed. If you creating a label, I don't know what you got going on. Where can they follow you at?
You already know the Real Grand Puba and IG. You know, I'll be all into that shit like that, but that's official. You can catch me on the gram, you know.
You got a YouTube channel?
Yeah, but I ain't even
you ever thought about on the podcast? No? Me and Lord Jamal talking about some things because we gotta try to help these babies, man. This shit is crazy.
Yeah, definitely gotta.
You know, it's just
help the youth.
Everybody got podcasts, but we gotta focus on these youth, man, and get them to understand that you know, killing each other is not the way, man.
Yeah, we gotta stop.
Yourself to better yourself. You know, and that's coming from a love standpoint, you know, and that's our duty, man. And fuck what everybody else said. You know, we rather see y'all successful, rich, and alive, and growing to be old, having family, having kids, and all that shit. Don't let nobody tell you nothing different. That's the most beautiful thing about life, is creating another life, and then another life creating another life, and that's how we move on as a people and as a nation. So
that's a fact.
You know, we love y'all. You know what I'm saying?
With that being said, man, that was a great interview, man. Yeah. You heard it from the legend himself.
Be on the earth and be plentiful.
Puba. It was amazing. I had a great time with you, bro.
It's all love.
Appreciate you, big bro.
Yes, sir.